Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss the chapter of class 10, General Science, chapter 13, Magnetic Effects of Electric Current. So, here about electric current, in our last chapter we have already discussed what is electric current, how electric current passes through the conductor, and heating effect of electric current. All these things are almost we have discussed in the last chapter, that is chapter 12. So here we are going to discuss about the magnetic effects of electric current. Before discussing about the magnetic effects of electric current, we must have to know about the magnet. What is magnet? Its characteristics, properties, how does it work? So everything about this we must have to know before discussing the effects of electric current, magnetic effects of electric current. So magnet is the attracting property. It is the substance which has the, and by definition, if we say that the substance which has the attracting property, that is magnet. Now, attracting property, if we say, then in ancient time, in Greece, one type of stone has been identified, and it was observed that one stone is attracting another stone, and in some way if they are placed, then also repelling. So attracting and repelling both are there. Then confusion arises and this curiosity arises during that time in the mind of many scientists. What are these stones? Later, after many research, it was discovered that these are natural magnet. These are natural magnet, and the name of the natural magnet is lodestone. Lodestone is the name of the natural magnet, and it is made up of this ore of iron, hematite. It is made up of ore of iron, and it has the attractive property. One stone is attracting another stone. So, name of the natural magnet is lodestone. After that, nowadays, whatever the magnet we are using, these are artificial magnets. These are created generally. Most of the magnets, whatever we are using in many purposes, most of the magnets, these are artificially manufactured, artificially prepared. We will also learn how we can make the artificial magnet also. Before that, we will discuss about the what is magnet. We try to understand and properties. Now, about the bar magnet, if we say bar magnet is in the shape of bar. Bar magnet, it is in the shape of bar, and every magnet has its two poles. Every magnet has its two poles. The pole which is towards the north, geographical north, that is north seeking pole, that is the north pole. Suppose this one, and another one is south pole, that is the south seeking pole. So our Earth is the largest magnet. Our Earth is the largest magnet. Our Earth also has the two pole, north pole and south pole. So Earth is also a largest magnet, and it also has the attracting property. Due to the gravity of the Earth, it is also a largest magnet. Now, on our Earth, on the surface of the Earth, when we place the magnet towards the which is north seeking pole, that is the north pole, and south seeking pole, that is the south pole. Now, suppose how to identify the pole of the magnet. Every magnet has its two poles. This is the north pole and south pole. Now, how to identify the poles of the magnet? If I take a magnet, suppose this one, if I take a magnet, we don't know, suppose the which pole is the north pole and which pole is the south pole. Then let us hang it by thread in the middle if we hang it and if we leave it for some time. So before that, with the use of magnetic compass needle, we must have to identify the north south in that area where we are going to hang it. Now geographical north south. That magnetic compass needle gives us the geographical north south, exact geographical north south direction. After identify, suppose this side is our north and this side is our south. So this side north, this side south. Now let us hang it with the help of thread and let us leave it freely. Then what will happen? It will rotate for some time. After that, it will become steady. It will become steady like that. After rotating for some time, it will stop and it will become steady. After becoming steady, we will see that the position of this magnet will be like this. That means earlier I told that this side let us consider our north and this side our south, and the position of the magnet always will be like this, not like this. Like this it will become steady. Then this pole of the magnet, which is towards the north of the earth, that is the south pole, and this pole which is towards the south of the earth, this is north pole. So we can identify easily the north pole, south pole of the magnet. Now lines of force of magnet means the force experienced by a magnet, there is the lines of force. Lines of force in a I will try to understand in the bar magnet. That is force experienced by it. That is how much area it can experience this force. How much area? Up to this much, up to this much, up to this much. So how much area? Up to how much area it can experience this force? That is the lines of force. Now, these lines of force outside the magnet is always from north to south. Lines of force outside the magnet from north to south, always from north to south. Inside the magnet, it is from south to north. Inside the magnets, from south to north. Outside the magnet, from north to south. And these lines of force are never cut one another. One lines of force never cut one another. Suppose these lines of force is cut one another, this one cut, then the direction of this one will be changed. It is coming from north, again it is going to north. That only it can cut this line. So it is impossible. For that reason, one lines of force never will cut another lines of force. They have their own discrete path. So one lines of force are circular in nature. Circular means from outside outside the bar magnet, it is from north to south, and inside the bar magnet from south to north. So a complete circle forming. So it is circular in nature. They are the properties of lines of force. So we can understand from this fact that the lines of force do not cut one another, and inside the magnet, the lines of force is from south to north. Outside the magnet, from north to south. Now the strength of the magnet is maximum at the pole of at their poles, not in the middle. The strength of the magnet maximum. Suppose if we place this bar magnet on iron powder, then we can observe that there the shapes will be taken by the iron powder, and the maximum iron powder will be attached to the poles of the magnet. From that fact, we can understand that the strength of the magnet is maximum at the pole of the magnet, not at the middle. So another speciality of magnet is if we break this magnet, then automatically this one will become south. If we break in the middle, then this part will become south and there will become north. Automatically another two pole will be created in the magnet. So every broken magnet itself is another magnet. So these are the properties of magnet we learned. Now magnetic lines of force is imaginary lines. Magnetic lines of force are imaginary lines from north pole to south pole outside the magnet and from south pole to north pole inside the magnet. These are circular in nature. One lines of force do not cut, does not overlap another or does not cut another. So these are the properties of lines of force of magnet and the properties of magnet also. And the strength of the magnet is maximum at the poles of the magnet, not in the middle. Now we will try to discuss about the magnetic effects of electric current. In the earlier time, the first scientist Hans Christian Oersted in the year 1820, he accidentally observed that he was the leading scientist of the 19th century and accidentally observed that magnetic compass needle shows the deflection when it is placed near the current carrying conductor. Let's try to understand from the experiment that here suppose with the battery and the key current is, this is positive, this is negative. Current is moving from positive to negative. This is the direction of current. Now here one magnetic compass needle is placed. This one is suppose usually north-south direction, east, west. Now magnetic compass needle, when the key is off, magnetic compass needle will show this is the position of magnetic compass needle. When the switch is off, it is observed that magnetic compass needle does not show any deflection or nothing, no movement. It is placed and it will show the north-south direction of that area, of that place. Like this it is. Now when the key is on, it is observed that the magnetic compass needle showing the deflection like this. When the key is on, magnetic compass needle showing the deflection like this. Now when in the circuit, when key is off, no deflection. Key is on, showing the deflection towards the direction of the current. This is the direction of the current. So earlier this one, position of magnetic compass needle like this. When the key is on, then it is showing like this. When off, then again like this. On, this. Off, this. On, like this. Off, like this. On, like this. Now the battery is reversed. And it is observed that now the current is moving from this end to this end, and the magnetic compass needle is placed like earlier. And when the key is on, then it is observed that this one showing the deflection like this. This here. That means key on, this you are deflecting. Key off, again like this. Key on, this you are deflecting. That means this is the north pole. This is the north pole of the compass. This north pole is deflecting towards the direction of the current. This north pole is deflecting towards the direction of the current when key is on. When current is moving this direction. When current is moving in this direction, the north pole deflecting towards the direction of the current. So this is the experiment done by Oersted, and concluded that later after this he had concluded that every current carrying conductor behaves like a magnet. Every current carrying conductor behaves like a magnet. This means that we know that this is the magnetic compass needle. This is the north-south, usual north-south direction, north-south position of the compass. Now it will not show any deflection until and unless if it comes near another magnet. one magnetic compass needle will not show any deflection unless it comes in near another magnet. Now there is no magnet, no magnet is placed. Now when key is on, then it shows the deflection. That means that when key off, no deflection. When key on, then deflection. This means that there something magnetic property is created, magnet is created, because of which this magnetic compass needle is showing the deflection. Now where this magnet is created, this line, this conductor becomes the magnet. When current is flowing through this whole conductor becomes the magnet. And for that reason, this magnetic compass needle is showing the deflection. Now, when key is off, this is not showing the deflection. In general, wire, like just wire, this current is not passing, so it is not a magnet. When current is passing through the conductor, then it becomes magnet. So, we had concluded that every current carrying conductor in our room also current carrying conductors are there. So every current carrying conductor behaves like a magnet. That means whenever we will bring a magnetic compass needle near a current carrying conductor, it shows the deflection. That means that current carrying conductor becomes the magnet at that moment, and for which magnetic needles deflected. So this is the conclusion did by. So he established a relation. He established a great relation between the electric current and the magnet, because this is the relation. You see, when current carrying conductor, every current carrying conductor behaves like a magnet. That means earlier it was known that this is the only current carrying conductor. Now after this experiment, he has concluded that current carrying conductor behaves like a magnet. So there is a relation between the electric current and magnetic property, magnetism. So electric and magnet, there is a huge relation established. So this is the first relation he had established between the magnet and the electric. He was the first scientist to establish this relation. After that, when it was established that every current carrying conductor behaves like a magnet, then it is concluded also that yes, every current carrying conductor behaves like a magnet. Now the question arises that this conductor, if behaves like a magnet, then definitely it also has the lines of force. When the current is passing through this wire, this becomes current carrying conductor. When this current carrying conductor, since current carrying conductor behaves like a magnet, then this current carrying conductor has also magnetic lines of force. Now, if that has the magnetic lines of force, then what are the direction? What is the direction of that magnetic lines of force? There the question arises. And after that, Maxwell gives one law. That law gives the direction of the magnetic lines of force in a current carrying conductor. And according to Maxwell, he has given one law. That law name is Maxwell right hand thumb rule. Maxwell right hand thumb rule is like that. This is the current carrying conductor. Suppose this is the current carrying conductor, and if we catch this current carrying conductor, like this, thumb pointing towards the direction of the current, thumb is pointing towards the direction of the current, then this curled finger gives the direction of the magnetic lines of force. This curled finger gives the direction of the magnetic lines of force. That means if we catch the current carrying conductor keeping our thumb towards the direction of the current, then this curled finger gives the direction of the magnetic lines of force. Since magnetic lines of force are circular, so this curled finger gives the magnetic lines of force, direction of magnetic lines of force. Now he did one experiment also based on that. He has taken one cardboard and a hole is made. The diameter of the hole is such that only one wire can pass through it. And this wire is connected with the battery. Now this is the action of the current. Here some powders are placed, iron powders are placed. When key is on, then he has observed that we had observed that this iron powder taken the shape like that, circular shape, and this indicates that when the current can this current can behaves like a magnet, and near that magnet when these iron powders are placed, then this has taken the shape of circular shape. Now how the circle is formed? This your circle is formed or that your circle is formed? This will give us the direction of the magnetic lines of force in that current carrying conductor. Now if we catch this one, then it indicates this curled finger. So this thumb is towards the direction of the current. Now this curled finger will give us the direction of the magnetic lines of force. That means this way, that is clockwise. Clockwise, we can say that when current is from towards the downward direction, then the circles are formed clockwise. Now using that magnetic compass needle also we can identify. Magnetic compass needle when it is placed there, then this is the south pole and this is the north pole. Then again placed there, then this south pole, this is the north pole. So this magnetic compass needle also showing the direction of the magnetic lines of force. These are the magnetic lines of force created near the current carrying conductor. So from this Maxwell's uh, concluded that magnetic lines of force are circular, since circular. So the curled finger, when we catch current carrying conductor, our thumb is pointing towards the direction of the current, and this curled finger gives us the direction of the magnetic lines of force. So direction Maxwell, what does this Maxwell's right hand thumb rule give? Maxwell's right hand thumb rule gives us the direction of the magnetic lines of force in a current carrying conductor. Now, after that, based on his rule, another we can say his rule again modified as a corkscrew rule. Corkscrew rule. Suppose like this, if we move, then this here current carrying conductor, this here like this, if we move, then cork is going downward, and like this, if we move, then cork is coming upward. So if we take this is the direction of the current, and if we move like this, then it is coming upward. Then if this is the direction of the current, and if we move the cork screw like this, then it will go downward. So this same thing is the, suppose this is a screw, and if we catch screw like that, and then if we consider this is the direction of current, and this is the curled finger gives us the direction of magnetic lines of force, then if we move like this along with the curled finger, then it will go downward. The screw will go downward, and this is the direction of current, and if we, this is our curled finger, and if we move like this, then it will come upward. So this is another name of this his law is corkscrew rule, and from his rule we can try to understand in a circular loop how does magnetic lines of force, what are the direction of magnetic lines of force in a circular loop. This is the direction of current, this is the direction of current. Now in a circular loop, when T is on, then if we catch this one and keeping thumb towards the direction of the current, then we are getting the magnetic lines of force direction like this. If we catch this one, this is the direction of current, and thumb is pointing towards the direction of current. Then we are getting the magnetic lines of force like this. Now from this fact we can understand that inside a circular loop the direction of the magnetic lines in both the ends are same. But outside both the directions are opposite to one another. Outside the circular loop directions are opposite to one another, but inside the circular loop the direction of the magnetic lines of force are same. So this way we can understand the magnetic lines of force created in a current carrying circular loop. Next we will discuss about the solenoid. Solenoid is the picture of solenoid. Solenoid means many turns there, many turns of wires are there, more than thousands, and two ends of, in the two ends of these turns, battery is connected, and key is there. When this key is on, then current is not flowing like this. Now let's try to understand the magnetic lines of force inside the solenoid, outside the solenoid, the direction of the magnetic lines of force. Now, when this current is flowing this way and there, then if we catch it like this, then thumb is pointing towards the direction of the current, then magnetic lines of force is this way. And when going there, then if we catch it, magnetic lines of force this way. So like this everywhere. Then from this, if we try to understand that in every loop, the direction of the magnetic lines of force and all together joining, then we can conclude that this inside the solenoid, the magnetic lines of force direction is inside the solenoid. This is the positive end, so this is the direction of the current. So this end of solenoid behaves like north pole, this end behaves like a south pole. So you can say that solenoid when current carrying conductor behaves like a bar magnet. The current carrying solenoid, a current carrying solenoid behaves like a bar magnet. That is, when current is flowing through a solenoid, it behaves like a bar magnet. And as in bar magnet, the north pole, south poles are there. So like this, in here also north pole, south poles are created. The positive end of the battery, in the end which wire is connected, that end is south north pole, and the another end is south pole. Now inside the solenoid, we have seen that magnetic lines of force are from south to north. Magnetic lines of force are from south to north inside the solenoid, and outside the solenoid from north to south. Inside the solenoid from south to north, and outside the solenoid from north to south. Now, by catching every circular loop, if we try to understand the magnetic direction of magnetic lines of force, then we can understand it easily. By catching like this, then we can see this. So outside of this one is north to south, and inside again coming south to north. Here also same. Outside from north to south, and inside south to north. So joining all together, these closed turns are there. Joining all together, more than 1,000 turns are there. Then joining all together, we can conclude that this is the direction of magnetic lines of force inside the solenoid when current is passing through it. So one end of the solenoid behaves like a north pole, another end behaves like a south pole. So it becomes a bar magnet when current is passing through it. So this is about the solenoid. Now what are the uses of solenoid? Using solenoid temporary magnet or permanent magnet can be created. Now, in that solenoid, inside the solenoid, if we place soft iron inside the solenoid, if we place soft iron uh, and if we pass current for a long time, then this soft iron will become a temporary magnet. When current is passing through it, it becomes a magnet. When current is off, then it again soft iron. When current is passing through solenoid, then it becomes a magnet. So this is a temporary magnet. So to make the temporary magnet, soft iron is used. Why soft iron is used? Because it can be easily magnetized and it can be easily demagnetized. That means when current is passing through it, it becomes magnet, so it is magnetized. When current is not passing through it, that is switch off, then it becomes normal soft iron. So it can be magnetized as well as it can be demagnetized easily. So that's why soft iron is used to make the temporary magnet. We can make permanent magnet also. So instead of this soft iron, if we use Alnico, Niparma, the alloys or the stainless steel, if we place inside this solenoid and if we pass the current for long hour, for many times, for long time, then that stainless steel or the Alnico or the Niparma, what are the alloys can be used and that can become permanent magnet. So whatever the magnets nowadays we are using, we are getting normally these are prepared like this. So these alloys are used to make this permanent magnet. So this is the solenoid. Now solenoid, using solenoid, temporary magnet, permanent magnet, these can be uh, prepared, and every solenoid when current is passing through it behaves like paramagnet. So these are the properties, characteristics of solenoid. Draw the structure of solenoid also coming and write down the what is solenoid also coming, definition coming. So and the soft iron about the temporary magnet. Temporary magnet means electromagnet. So how to make the electromagnet? Why soft iron is used to make electromagnet? These are the questions are coming. How to make the permanent magnet? What can be used to make the permanent magnet? So these are the questions. Most of the questions can come. Now after that, uh, a French scientist André Marie Ampere suggested that the magnet also exerts an equal and opposite force on the current carrying conductor. Magnet also exerts equal and opposite force on the current carrying conductor. Current carrying conductor behaves like a magnet. Now another magnet if we place, then it also exerts equal and opposite amount of force on that current carrying conductor, because both are the magnet, one exerting force to another. Now based on this suggestion, Fleming did the experiment. Fleming did the experiment. He did one stand taken and horseshoe shape. One horseshoe shaped magnet is placed on the stand. This is one conductor taken. This is one current carrying conductor. is hot shaped magnet or U-shaped magnet. Simply U-shaped magnet also you can see. This one is connected with the battery. Their key is also there. Now, this is one U-shaped magnet is taken and current carrying conductor taken. This current carrying conductor is connected with the battery. Key is also connected. All these things are placed in a stand with the stand. Now, when all these arrangements are made, then it is observed that in this hot-shielded magnet, this is the north pole, suppose this is the south pole. This end is north pole, this end is south pole. So, magnetic lines of force is from north to south, that is towards downward direction. And in this conductor, suppose this point A point and this is B point. Current from A to B. Current is from A to B. Magnetic lines of force downward. N to S. Then when key is on, both are perpendicular. That means these are placed like this. This is the U-shaped magnet. This is the U-shaped magnet. And this the conductor is placed. This the conductor is placed like this. Current is moving from A to B. This U-shaped magnet. Both are perpendicular to each other. This is the magnetic lines of force and this is the current. Both are perpendicular to each other. When both are perpendicular to each other, then when P is on, it is observed that this conductor is getting out of the U-shaped magnet like this. This conductor is getting out. That means this U-shaped magnet applying certain force on this conductor and that conductor is getting out of the U-shaped magnet outside. So from that we can say that force is outward. Then he changed the end of the battery. Now current is from, earlier current is from A to B and now is from B to A. This is first observation. Second observation, current from B to A. And remaining other things are same. Magnetic lines of force downward. N to A. Magnetic lines of force downward and current is from B to A. Now magnetic lines of force downward like earlier it is placed and current is from B to A. That means this end to this end. Current is this way going. Then it is observed that this one this conductor, when key is on, this conductor moving inward. There is force, it is observed inward. Earlier outward, now inward. So again he has changed the battery and made like earlier. This current is from A to B. Current is from A to B like this. Now change the magnet. Magnet from, instead of downward, it will be upward. Magnetic lines upward. Then it is observed that this conductor is moving inward. Again he has changed the magnetic lines of force upward and current is from B to A. Then it is observed that current conductor is coming outward. So from that fact he has concluded by his one law, that is called Fleming's left-hand rule. Fleming's left-hand rule. This is the Fleming's left-hand rule, and he has told this is the magnetic field, this is the current, both are perpendicular to each other. When magnetic field and current carrying conductor, or when the magnetic field and electric field, when magnetic field and electric field becomes perpendicular to each other, then there the maximum force is created. That force is also perpendicular to both of them. This is the force. This force is also perpendicular to both of them. That means this is the two axes, suppose magnetic field and electric field, current. So both are perpendicular to each other. Then because of their perpendicular position, a force is created on them, and that force is also perpendicular to both of them. Now he has explained by this. He is told to stretch your left and three finger, thumb, pointing finger and middle finger, and make this all three are in 90 degree. There is all three are perpendicular to each other. Then he named this one is force, this one is magnetic field, this one is current. And when this one is magnetic field and current is perpendicular to each other, then this force is also perpendicular to both of them. That means for easy to us, we can remember like this: father, mother, child. This is the father, this is mother, this is child. Father F, F for force, mother M, M for mother, magnetic field, M for magnetic field, and mother M, and child C, there is C for current. So father, mother, child, we can remember like this also. Now if we relate like this one coming north to south, that is downward, magnetic field downward, current from A to B, current is from A to B this way, then force outward, you see force outward. Now there magnetic field downward, current from magnetic field downward, current from B to A, current from B to A, this B to A, then force inward is going this way. So using this law we can easily identify the direction of the force applied by the magnetic field on the perpendicular position of electric field. So we can easily identify the direction of this magnetic field. So this is given by Fleming's left-hand rule. So, and based on this, motor is working. Now we will try to understand that how does this motor work. How does a motor work? Motor we know using electric field these are rotating. That means we can say that electrical energy converted to mechanical energy. In motor, electrical energy converted to mechanical energy. Motor is used in our washing machine, motor is used in fan, motor is used in various purposes. So in various equipments, various electric equipments, various daily life equipments, various household equipments, the motor is used. Now how does this motor basic working function or working principle of motor we'll try to understand now. Before discussion, we can say that a motor works basically, we can say that it converts electrical energy to mechanical energy. That means when we will pass electric current through the motor, then definitely it will rotate. So we can say that getting electric energy and rotating, that means electrical energy converted to mechanical energy. Now let's draw a schematic diagram of basic structure of motor. This is the schematic diagram of motor. This one is split ring. This one is brush. This one suppose B1, B2, S1, S2. When key is on, current is moving in this direction. There suppose A, B, C, D. This is the schematic diagram of motor. Now, before discussing, we'll try to understand the split ring and the function of brush. This ABCD is armature. This is called armature. Which one rotate actually. Now this rotation is maintained by the split ring. This rotation is maintained by the split ring. This split ring, when this brush is keeping this part is fixed. Brush is helping to keep this part is fixed. When our fan is rotating, the other things are remaining fixed. Only fan is rotating. This fan is able to rotate because of this split ring. If split ring not there, then if everything rotate, then when switch on, then everything will rotate. So it will be dangerous one. So split ring helping to keep these things are in motion only, and keeping brush is helping to keep these things are in fixed only. So they are the basic function of split ring and brush. Now, how does it work? There is the magnet, north pole, south pole. Usually the direction of the lines of force in the magnet is north to south. This is the direction of the magnetic lines of force, this way. Now when key is on, then current is moving from A to B, suppose. Then what will happen? Our Fleming's left hand rule. Let us apply Fleming's left hand rule. Now FMC, magnetic lines of force this way. This way magnetic lines of force. Current is upward. Magnetic lines of force this way, current is upward. Then this AB will go down. CD will come up. Or suppose we can say like this. North to south, magnetic field north to south. Current is magnetic field north to south, current is A to B, then this AB will rotate half like this. When AB will rotate half like this, then this S1 will come to S2 and S2 will go to S1. Then rotation will be like this. When current is moving from A, B, C, D, then this A, B, C, D will rotate like this. Half rotation. Half rotation will be completed. And this S1 will come to S2, S1 will come to join with B2, and S2 will come to join with B1. This is the half rotation completed. This AB will go downward and like this. Now current is going from B to C. Now B to C, this current direction of current and the magnetic lines of force direction both are parallel. Since both are parallel, so there will be no rotation. In parallel, when electric field and magnetic field becomes parallel, then there will be no force. Force is zero, and maximum force when will be when they are both will be in perpendicular to each other. Now when current is moving from C to D, current is moving from C to D, magnetic lines of force north to south. Current is this current C to D, magnetic lines of force north to south. Then rotation is upward. That means AB has gone like this, and again after half rotation, when current is moving from C to D, this CD C now CD earlier when half rotation completed, CD is there and AB is there. And again when current is moving from CD, then CD is going downward and AB is coming upward. So like this it is continued. Again I am telling, when magnetic lines of force from north to south, current is moving from A to B. Current is moving from A to B, then ABCD is moving, AB going downward, CD coming upward. Half rotation completed. Now CD is in place of AB and AB is in place of CD. Now current is moving from D to C, C to D. Then when C to D, then again this CD is coming upward and AB is going downward. So after every half rotation, the direction of the current is changed, and since the direction of the current changing, so rotation is also changing. So one is going earlier upward, now coming downward. One is going earlier downward, now coming upward. So earlier AB has gone downward, now AB coming upward. Earlier CD has come upward, now CD going downward. So full rotation is completed. So when A to B, AB is going downward. When C to D, this side is coming upward. So one is going downward, another is coming upward. When this one comes there, this one going there, then this one coming upward and that one going downward. So like this it is continued. This is the working principle of motor, and this is the use of split ring and brush, and mainly motor maintaining this after every half rotation, motor changing the direction. After every half rotation, this current changing the direction, and motor is also rotating according to the direction of the current, and completing the full rotation when current is also changing their direction. So this is the completion of half of the chapter, and I wish you understood. Rest of the chapter I will discuss after some time in another class, and I think when you will relate this discussion with the textbook, then you will understand more in better way. Thank you.